So my plan for today is I have inherited this rigid cast iron top table saw from my father-in-law who passed away last December. Very thankful that he thought of me to leave this with me. His workshop, however, had a bit of a water leak. No water got directly on the top of the surface, but it did get a lot of condensation from just the various climate temperature changes that went on within his workshop. I've done some research and I believe I've got all of the necessary tools for the basic outside cleaning. Picked up all of this stuff at Lowe's. Got some oxygenated orange cleaner from LA's Totally Awesome. White Scotch-Brite pads, WD-40, mineral spirits, and then the finishing touch of some paste wax. So what I'm going to start with is actually just I'm going to start by cleaning up these rails, try to get some of just the excess dust and debris off of that. And then from there, I'm going to move to, I'll soak the cast iron top down with some WD-40 and let that soak for a few minutes. I've seen it done both ways, spray it on and immediately wipe it off, and then also spray it on and let it soak. Due to the fact that this is pretty heavily caked on, I think I'm going to go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt and let it soak for some time. I've found in working with hand cleaners, the ones that seem to do have the orange additive to them, they do tend to clean some better. Also, I'd like to apologize at this point if you can hear the fans behind me. It's 7:30 in the morning here in Tennessee, and it's already 88 degrees with the humidity of about 50%. So I've got pretty much all of my shop fans going around me, and I'm sure the microphone's picking up some of that. And just so everyone knows, the blade is dropped below the surface. The machine is not plugged up. Even in a maintenance situation, always take safety first. And the orange cleaner seems to be doing pretty well. I'd already wiped this, a dry wipe, the excess dust and debris off of here once and got some of it off, but I hadn't tried any of the wet cleaning solvents to do any cleanup with it. I'm sure this is probably going to take more than one attempt anyway. Like I said, he was a cabinet maker, and unfortunately his health got bad a few years ago, so this machine probably has not been used, and I would, if I had to guess, I would say at least 3 years, possibly longer. I looked up the model number, and it's not really that old. The unit is from 2017. It's a rigid unit sold through Home Depot. And just to give you an idea, according to the specs, this whole unit weighs 275 pounds, and I have no doubt that that's not true. It took me and my son, who works out regularly, to get this thing moved in and out of his shop and into mine. Spray some WD-40 on here on the surface, get a good heavy coat on there. I have previously wiped this down to get some of the excess dust off. I'm not sure how much it has actually helped. You can see, if you see the spray, you can see the fan behind me is catching some of that. But Tennessee is notoriously known for its humidity, and today is no different. I thought the earlier morning start would help out. I've been trying to do this for a couple days. I've had this in here already 3 days, but the weather has not cooperated. It's supposed to get some rain later today, which I think we're desperately in need of. It's been a few days now that they've been talking about drought conditions. So won't complain, but the only downside with rain is it does increase the humidity. But I know we need it. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes now. Gonna go ahead and start on this, well, from the camera point of view, it'll be the left side, but for me it'll be the far right. I'm using the white Scotch-Brite. It's the ultra fine finish. I've seen a few people go back and make like little sanding blocks, but if you've got one of these little yellow sanding pads, I'll put a link in the description below for these. The pad sticks perfectly to it. See what happens here. Like I say, I'm sure probably chose not to wear a good color here, a white shirt with this sandpaper. And this rust sanding is not probably my best choice. So I went and did a little more research, and apparently with heavy rust, WD-40 can only do so much. It's done pretty good in some of the lighter areas. You can see right here, some of the cast iron of the table's coming back through, but these other areas you can actually feel. What I've come up with is this product right here, Loctite Naval Jelly Rust Dissolver. And it's basically like a, as it says, a jelly. And you apply it with a brush, let it set on there, and then wipe it away. Okay. Looks like something from Ghostbusters here.
You worthless piece of slime! You ignorant, disgusting blob!
The directions say to wear gloves, which anytime you're working with chemicals is always a good idea. Brush this on. Directions say 5 to 10 minutes, but for heavier areas to let it set longer. I do believe I'm going to go probably, I'll start with 15 minutes and then to wipe it away with a damp cloth. But having a larger surface area, of course the extension here, I've got a couple projects in mind to actually do here on some of these upgrades with this saw. I'm going to build a new crosscut sled for it. I even have a Fusion 360 already and started kind of laying out a design here. Yeah, like in these channels right here, it's basically a T-track. So what I want to do is I'd like to build a panel that slides into this section and actually build a section for my router top. Of course, you know, with the router down, still not going to interfere with the surface of the table. Also in that process, I'd like to build its own little router lift as well. And I think it'll do that. Oh yeah. Already seeing a big difference.
Ten minutes later.
It says to spray it down with water, so I'm going to spray the surface. And it's doing a little better than it was, but I still think I got a long way to go. Keep talking about the orbital sander. I'm just going to go ahead and break it out and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to say Scotch-Brite seems to be doing a whole lot better than just letting it soak in. Of course, it pretty well ate that pad away. It does look like the Naval Jelly is doing a great job on taking this rust off. It's taking a couple coats. That side over there is looking a whole lot better. Still got the mineral spirits cleanup to do, but I'm just trying to finish this last little section back here. I've already eaten up almost all the Scotch-Brite pads I had, but see if we can't finish this up. Okay, that seems to be about as good as I can get it. The reason I went with this is right here. It talks about cleaning up equipment. For the paste wax stage, I've got Minwax paste finishing wax. Pretty much any paste wax should work fine. This is just a natural finish. This actually does come with some other finishes, but all I want to do is apply it on with a clean cloth, kind of buff it in to let it cloud up, and then come back and wipe down the excess. Give that a couple minutes, let it haze over, and I'll wipe off the excess. I've got all the wax off, but I am still getting
A bit of cloudiness here. I'm not sure what that's from. Said to take a microfiber cloth to get the wax off. Unfortunately, I don't have one right now. That's one thing I neglected to pick up. As long as the wax is on there, I'm happy with that. I'll pick up a microfiber, go over the wax one more time, and then wipe it down and see if that takes that off there, which I'm pretty certain that's what that is. Because if I do apply a good amount of pressure, it does seem to come off. So yeah, I guess that's just the wax haze. So just for future reference, if you do use the wax, be sure you have a microfiber, because just a clean cloth doesn't seem to take it off. Okay, now wiping these rails down, I do have to say that this stuff from Lowe's, it was just a couple bucks, I think like maybe $4. It works great in getting these rails clean. I would say that's probably about 98% of that rust is removed. I will eventually come back here and hit those high spots one more time. But I've got a couple projects that have been on hold while I've been trying to make time to get this thing cleaned up. So let me knock those out, and then I'll come back and go over the rusty spots again. But look for those future videos for the upgrades to this table. And I hope you liked this video. Maybe you learned something, or if you saw something I missed, feel free to leave it in the comments and give me a like and thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. So until next time, have a great day.